Pounders, we are back. And today we got part 3 of DooleyData with us. Welcome to the live stream.
Yeah, thanks, man, for having me on.
So also a special day. I mean, special weekend just in general. Hit the 5-year with the wifey. Hit the 1-year streaming today. Davis already dropping super chats. I appreciate you, bro. We are going to jump into some weekly winners questions, data on top of another draft, and we'll see what kind of big brain stuff we can come up with. I did watch your stream with Hayden, and again, just nuggets. And it's important to use this data, which I think you guys are doing a good job of, because it's data from Bestball Mania 3 last year. Move forward to apply to weekly winners. And what are some of your top tips that you've taken away so far, because you've been diving into this pretty extensively?
Yeah, I mean, recently I tweeted one about kind of trying to look at like how often could you do really well if your top pick like didn't perform. So essentially I tweeted out some graphs of like the way I decided to do it. It's kind of like there's kind of a lot of angles you could look at it, but I basically looked at how often was a round 1 or a round 2 pick on the bench of a top 50 team. So it's basically like that player flopped, but with high draft capital, but like, could you make up for it? And
Right.
it was pretty convincing that like you should just be playing for your top picks to do really well. So that's kind of something I've been leaning into. So I wanted to try and like quantify it in some way. I mean, it's not binary. Like you can get there with your top pick on your bench, but I don't think that's really the weeks you're playing for. If you get lucky and that happens, then
yeah. I think I saw something you said about 90% of the time your first round pick is in the starting lineup. That's pretty convincing.
Yeah, around 90% for round 1, around 85% for round 2, and 70-ish% for round 3.
Right.
And then I actually looked at like each pick. I'm trying to find my thread. It was like less than 0.5% of the time. A given round 1 pick, like the average round 1 pick was on the bench of a top 50 team like 0.5% of the time, and they were in the starting lineup like over 7% of the time. So that's like a 15x difference. So yeah, I don't know. That's something I'm definitely leaning into, and I think that is an edge. Like if you go wide receiver, you're really getting diminishing returns if you just keep piling on like receivers within the wide receiver window, which I would do in like BBM because it kind of like builds up your floor, but like you don't need a floor in this. So that's an edge I'm definitely really leaning into, because I think people are just not building optimally, and they're not leaning on their early draft capital enough.
And what's interesting, I mean, sure, different tournament, but people should be building around stacks, even for Bestball Mania last year. I think, yes, more knowledge, more streamers, more information's out there. I think people will tend to stack more this season, and every season they're on. But last year, like Patrick Mahomes was a 5th round pick. Kelsey went around like 12, 13.
Yeah.
And you had Jalen Hurts going in the 6th, 7th.
Yeah, Hurts was.
So now you bring these guys into early 1st round for Kelsey, the 2nd round for the elite 3 QBs, and now you're fully fading Kelsey at this point. Are you finding any opportunities to bring in the elite QBs?
I was taking them. I think I did like 30 or so drafts before I really dove into my analysis, and I took a good bit of all of those guys. So I think I'm just going to kind of rock with those are my lineups with the elite QBs. I really won't be drafting much of them again. I am taking a lot of Lamar and Fields as kind of like an arbitrage bet against those guys. McGaffrey in the chat.
And even like Fields is expensive for weeklies, but I agree with you. Like as one of the cheaper elite QBs, I definitely, he's one of my target pieces.
Yeah, I think Fields is a better in weekly winners type of dude too, because he's going to put up a couple like single-digit weeks where he just doesn't get the ground game going. They can't throw the ball.
Yeah,
like Josh Allen and Mahomes are probably like never going to have a single-digit like score. So I like the Fields. I mean, he had the top 2. I think he had the top 2 outputs last year, right? No,
yeah,
he had
2 in the top 40s.
Yeah, we had Fields with 43, Lamar with 42.5, and then and then Lamar and Fields also each put up a 39.
Yeah.
So they had the top 4 of those two. So I like those guys more than the top 3. So I'm
Definitely. They
definitely,
have that rushing ceiling. Now, if
yeah.
you take an elite QB like that, since you're spending so much capital, sort of like we talk about wide receiver, when are you selecting your next quarterback? If you even are selecting another QB,
Um,
which I know you're trying to get late stacks, at least one more, I would think.
yeah. I if I get Lamar or Fields, I definitely have a good bit of them naked, or not naked, but like solo QB.
Mhm.
It really just depends on what falls to me. Like if I have like Amon-Ra or Garrett Wilson or something, I think the QBs tied to like the elite receivers are very valuable. So I'm way more likely to tack it on like a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Goff that's like kind of outside the top
Okay.
100 ADP. I think once you get outside like the top 100 ADP, it it feels like cheap, and I think you're fine tacking on QBs just to kind of give yourself another like path to doing well.
Right. I guess that's probably even a better way I should have phrased it is what's the earliest late QB you would go, and it's that Rodgers. Because I agree with that, because if you are going another QB in that, I don't know, Deshaun Watson range, now you're losing out on more opportunity cost on another
Yeah,
position where, other teams are going to have Fields and then a positional player in that round.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
you
I'm
got to
not
find that
taking.
fine balance.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm not taking 2 of like the top 10, I would say. So yeah, if
Mm,
that's what you meant. Yeah, I'm not taking like Fields and Trevor Lawrence or something like that. I think that's
mhm,
just too expensive. You're missing out on too many good running backs and receivers.
mhm. Now,
Yeah,
you ran
I
into
am.
some data which I thought was super interesting. I don't know if you did a thread on it yet, so we don't have to touch on it if you don't want, but correlation between QB and pass catchers, whether it's
Yeah.
wide receiver, running back, tight end, any of the three, what sort of stuck out?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely. I keep saying I'm gonna tweet out a thread on the stacking. I probably will this week, but yeah, it's pretty convincing across the board. Like all types of stacks were like, so I looked at lineups 11 through 50, and then I looked at the top 10. So just to kind of like give myself a baseline, because I think it's really hard to quantify a baseline. It's like, so if I told you like 60% of teams had a stack in it, well, like, what does that mean? Does that
Mhm.
mean like,
Right.
is that more than the average team or whatever? So I looked at 11 through 50 to kind of be like, okay, these teams did really good. Now let me look at the teams that like really won the money, the top 10.
Right. Right.
And across the board, like every single type of stack increased in frequency from 11 through 50, and then to get into the top 10. And I will say running backs and tight ends increased like 3x more than wide receivers did, to get into the top 10. So I think
Mm,
I think the tight ends are being slept on a little. I think they're extremely correlated to the QBs because they're often TD dependent.
mhm.
You're not really seeing tight ends get there on
Exactly.
like catches and yards. And the TDs are what's most correlated, right? Because you're getting
100%.
10 points for a stacked passing touchdown.
100%. And that's kind of a belief that I had. And when you dropped that knowledge on me in the DMs, I was like, yeah, I kind of like, you kind of figure, because you're right, like touchdowns super correlated with the QB. And
Mhm.
for a tight end to get there, I mean, you're looking at what, typically 2 touchdowns, or like a TJ Hawkinson type game where he gets 100 yards and 1 touchdown, multiple catches.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that can do that.
But yeah, so +1 is like 40% with the tight end, 60%. What, it was high,
Um,
right? In the
it
top
went from
10.
about 30% in 11 through 50 to about 40% in the top 10,
Wow.
approximately.
Wow.
Yeah, Jewish McCaffrey's asking percentage of single stacks versus double stacks of the top 10. Yeah, the I got about so I guess yeah, if you look at any skill position players as considered a stack, two plus stacked players with the QB went up very slightly from 11 through 50 to top 10. It was about
Mm,
20% and then about 25% in the top 10. But every single type of stack that I looked at when I compared the top 11 through 50 to the top 10, every single one went up. There was not one type of stack that went down.
yeah,
So that, just being directionally accurate with stacking, I think is a no brainer.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Now, double stacking, and I sort of know this just from battle royales and crushing battle royales last season. Double stacks typically don't get there because it's a bet against the other player not having an absolute enormous type game. That being said, I think if you are targeting specific games with bringbacks and you're just basically saying this game is going to blow up, I think that's when it can work. And I know I heard you and Hayden, you guys don't like the Burrow, Higgins, Chase stack.
I'm not on that, no.
I still think it can get there personally, but it's a bet against the other player. So I do get that. You would be betting on, I mean, if Burrow puts up over, you would need over 400 yards from Burrow and likely 4 touchdowns, 2 to each.
Yeah, last year he went for 481 and 3 TDs with a 39-point game. I'd be curious to look at what Burrow and Chase did. Oh, I think that was the week where, was that the one where, there was Higgins didn't get there that week. It was
Chase put up like 200 yards or something.
Yeah, it was Chase, Boyd, and Hurst were actually all in the optimal. That was like one of the weeks. There was 3.
I remember that.
And then there was that crazy Dolphins-Ravens game. There was 3 Dolphins in the optimal too. It was Hill and Gesicki. And both times it was the tight end. So,
and Boyd we don't think of as that guy too, which is very surprising.
Yeah, he can just get there just because that offense just goes crazy sometimes. And he's a pretty fun receiver.
But all right, let's jump into a weekly winners. We tipped off the Discord Patreon members as well as the YouTube memberships. We appreciate you guys. We're waiting on 3 more if you want to jump into this draft with Dooley and I. And
another thing, snap Phil.
Yeah, full.
Oh man, all right. Well, everybody can play nice if we got the whole chat in here. Nobody's sniping each other.
All right, we got some pounders in here. 1 spot, 2 spot, 4 spot, 5 spots, like a nursery rhyme.
Well, yeah.
Dennis, King of Kings, welcome to the gauntlet.
Here, let's go.
Welcome to the gauntlet.
What I was gonna say is it is really hard to quantify it, but like the fact that you do get 10 bench spots makes me want to stack even more, as opposed to Battle Royale. Like, you have no room for error, right? You guys you pick, I gotta be your guys. The fact that you get 10 bench spots makes me want to stack more because you don't have to be right on all of them. I have a bunch of lineups where I take Daniel Jones and then I literally have taken like 4 of his pass catchers because they go so late, and it's like, okay.
And I think that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest takeaway is their cost is next to nothing, but you're still getting correlation. So yeah, you're not expecting 3 Giants to get there in one game, but who cares? Because the people going in that range, non-correlated, they're not going to get there either. So
I think like a cool lineup to do is you get 2 like stud receivers early, and then you literally just fill out your receiver room with 4 Giants late, and it's like, okay, I need 3 receiver spots filled. My 2 studs round 1, round 2, they're hitting my lineup, and then just one of these 4 with Daniel Jones is getting there.
I love that. That's hysterical.
It's a high ceiling, and it's.
I think Tyreek Hill's the easy click, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Perfect. Up in 14, which is around pick 20, and we have Waddle, who will most likely fall to us, but we don't want to do the double.
I mean, we can go with it. I don't think it's the best move. If you want to, I don't care.
So I guess I think in offenses such as Miami, it's very condensed offenses, right? Miami is a perfect example. I think Cincy's a good example. I think Philly's tough because you're not seeing Devonta Smith. You're not seeing a Hurts throw for 400 yards. So I would shy away from the Russian QBs with the double stack in weekly winners. Herbert is another good example where I believe 2 people can get there. It can happen. I think with those Russian QBs, it's going to be tougher. Now, if you add a tight end as the second pass catcher, now I think I'm back on board.
Yeah, I completely agree. You can tell it's the chat in this room with Kelsey falling to 10.
Oh, 100%. 100%. 100% is exactly what's happening.
I've never seen him go that late.
All right. We have to pop one off for the boys here. Appreciate all you guys for 1 year of support, and you still came back. Absolute sickos in the chat. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I like that one.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It's cool. It's cool.
Davis is cool.
Komet's a great I mean, it's obviously just variance, but I think Komet got there like every week Fields did last year.
Yeah. Direct. Yeah. I think there was both 2 touchdown games, both times, I believe.
Yeah, I really do like the late tight end stacks. I think that's a big edge.
How about the noise with Greg Dulcich and like Trotman playing in front of him right now? And
dude, he seems like he's such a good player. I don't know. I'm trying not to overreact too much because the bet on a lot of these guys is just that they're really talented and they're just going to force their way into more playing time.
Exactly. I think if he was not meant to play in front of Trotman, like, then guess what? He wasn't going to get you there anyways.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of like almost the Rashad Penny is kind of I wanted the big dog.
I agree with that. I'm cool with Waddle as well, but
I like Olave.
Okay.
See how far these QBs fall.
The white box. They white boxed him, man. What's up with that?
What was that?
Don't put my boy in a box. Look at this. Is that showing up on your screen?
Yeah, that Olave has been like that for the last week. I have no idea why. It looks weird.
Kelsey fall to 10. Yeah, it's strictly because of the listeners. The people are applying. They are applying the theories.
Lucky 7 said stop at 4 RBs. I don't agree with that really. If you take like 2 in the first, if you go RB to start, then sure. But I think the RBs later in the draft are better bets than wide receivers, like up until a certain point.
Definitely.
Like the mid-round guys. Like there's like a string of like 10 receivers where I pretty much like am at like 2% of all those guys and like 12% at all the running backs in that range. It's like pick 100 to like 140-ish. Like I just don't pick any of these guys basically. I'm just running back every time there. No, yeah, this Rashad Penny stuff is super interesting. I think. What do you make of all that?
In the chat? You know what? Sirianni came out and said like all these guys are going to get touches. It's going to come down to who performs. If Penny's healthy, I think he has first and second down. That's the way I see it. If Swift is healthy, I think Swift has third down. They might mix him in. I guess they have Penny up in weight a little bit this season too, to maybe just keep him healthier this season. I think he's up like 10 pounds, but
Penny's
it's going to be,
pounds?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It might be down 10 pounds. I got to double check that. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. I like Stevenson here. We could go another receiver too, if you want. I'm cool with either play.
Oh, shit, we're on the clock. I'm cool with Lamar. You want to go Lamar? I don't really like Stevenson.
We can go Lamar.
I like Lamar.
All right, so we grabbed Lamar at 29. How many receivers? We want 5 receivers probably before pick 101. I would think that's like a must in every.
Really? See, going wide receiver start for me. I'm usually not doing that, but we can see what falls to us.
Okay.
Again, like I'm basically like lock buttoning Tyreek and Olave into my lineup, so the rest of my receivers are really, like the way I look at it is that they're just filling. We just need the rest of our receivers to fill wide receiver 3 and then chip in at flex.
Okay.
That's how I look at it. Like that's kind of what I'm doing with my draft capital stuff that I looked at. I'm like,
what I'm tending to do is get 4 strong guys because you can get a third. Obviously, you need to start 3, then you have the flex spot, and I think wide receivers drop off the most.
Yeah.
So I do try to get 5 by like the Treylon Burks range, basically. Treylon Burks. You can add Sutton.
We have our 3 stack. We have our 3 stack options right at the end of that range. So
yeah, we're gonna have to click.
Yeah, we should leave open a couple of receiver spots to try and get 2 of those guys. I would like.
What was the Likely news? It's not on here. Likely got dinged up.
Maybe. He's a great pick in this.
Let's see. Who's got the update on Likely? Taken to the locker room on Saturday. There's no update. 23 hours ago. Undisclosed. Don't you love preseason?
Too much to keep up with. Yeah, I don't.
It's a good thing though.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's the best time of the year.
Do you follow 32 beat writers? I believe it is on Twitter.
Yeah, I do follow them. I had their notifications on for a while, and it just was like
it's a lot.
They just tweet so much.
I still keep it on.
It is for sure.
I just let it build, and now I'll just go through and get all 10, 15 at the same time.
Yeah, I should like make a list or something. I never really use those list features on Twitter, but that might be a good idea, just to like put your like news accounts in like a list, and then you can just sift through that quick.
Definitely. TJ Moore off the board at 42. He broke one for a long touchdown. Herbert broke a long one for a touchdown too. And that was a catch, the one catch of the day for him. Rashawn Johnson was running mean in the preseason.
Yeah, his first carry was sick. He just ran through everybody. What are you thinking here?
Not Joe Mixon. You know, I'm cool with CWAT. Like CWAT is such a weekly winners click, or TJ Hawk. I'm cool with the Hawk as well. I like
Hawk a lot actually.
Because how many teams Lamar going to have Mark Andrews? I feel like Lamar and Andrews are being pulled up to this range. Like I like what Money Love did here and went Mark Andrews, Justin Fields. Just a quick little switcheroo he did.
Yeah, that's
where a lot of other teams aren't doing that. And that's like, how much leverage is this on the field that like 90% are doing maybe not that much, but a good 50, 60% are probably doing the Lamar Andrews click there. That's huge leverage. Huge.
Yeah, that is interesting because he just passed on Lamar, and so many people are just double tapping Lamar and Andrews at the 2-3 turn.
And we did this sort of the same thing. We go Lamar, now we bring in TJ Hawk.
Yeah, we did actually. I kind of like that. And then I think that makes the receivers even more valuable for us because we're betting against Andrews, and those guys are like kind of negatively correlated to Andrews. So yeah, we probably. I'm not used to drafting on stream here. I can't talk too much because we got half the chat.
I know. You can send me. We can use the private chat. We can.
True.
We can scheme behind the scenes here, my friend.
Yeah, we're not letting these guys type us.
But guys, if you haven't already, go down, drop a like for Dooley and I. I'm gonna be doing a 24. You don't have to join me. I'm gonna be doing a 24-hour live stream if I could hit 1,000 subscribers before NFL kickoff, and we're on the clock.
Honestly, just from a pure roster construction standpoint, I think Aaron Jones makes the most sense. I think just like getting your first RB within some.
Can we go RB in this range?
Yeah. What else are you looking at? Like Ayuk or Christian Kirk? You got to. Yeah, that's fine. We probably do not want another receiver that until the Ravens receivers.
And that's what I'm. Perfect.
Yeah. So we'll
like this range of RBs, like Akers, Pierce.
It's pretty flat in my opinion.
Montgomery. Like
I like those guys.
I would like 2 of these guys, and we could even bring in like a Dobbins if we needed to.
Oh yeah, he's well, yeah.
Pass catching RB, he's dropping. It's interesting.
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
But even like Pacheco, who's going at 88, and he's been a common faller. And then we love these RBs back here too, where it's like let's bet against the other elite QBs, where maybe Penny puts him in on the goal line.
Yeah,
Harris,
that's the range
etc.
I'm just clicking all the RBs in there. Oh my God, Bigsby's getting steamed.
Yeah. I'm glad I have a heavy exposure to Bigsby at like 160.
Me too.
So I'm good, like not drafting him again. I'll still be at like 15%. We knew this was going to happen with those RBs going in that range. Now, Kendre Miller was probably the misclick in that range right now. he left the field with some sort of foot injury, suffers knee sprain. So it came out as a knee sprain.
Oh, geez.
Not great. If it's the same knee, that'd be real bad. That'd be real bad. You know, Kamara's suspension was Kendry's best chance at getting on the field and getting some sort of job and impressing. It was his chance to impress. If he misses those weeks,
yeah, that's tough.
Man, yeah. I'm going to need some more Kamara in my portfolio.
I like him as a prospect, but it is a tough for him to just like supplant two very established veterans.
Yeah.
That might be always was kind of a slim bet. It sounds nice, but the probability of him actually hitting might be lower than we're really pricing in.
Thank you. McCaffrey said Penny lost some weight. So yeah, to stay lighter, get a little lighter. I think it was like 10 pounds. Lucky says 149.4, 14103, in my opinion, best build. He's sort of going against the grain with us.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about capital to me. I'm probably going
like there was two receivers that really spiked into the lineups last year using the BBM3 data as if it were weeklies, and it was Christian Watson and who's the other one? Zay Jones. Is there going to be a Christian Watson or Zay Jones this year at 180 plus? It's like
there's a chance.
I like a few of these guys, but all right.
Yeah. Well, what was the archetype?
Pierce goes off the board.
I would just take your pick of the running backs there. That would be my approach.
Swift is sort of, it's correlated negatively for us with Hurts, in my opinion.
We have what do you mean? We have Lamar.
Right, but like the pass catching RB.
Oh yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter a whole lot. Like Lamar's ceiling's just so damn high that we can get there. We can get there just with rushing yards. Just a better rushing game. 2 rushing touchdowns, etc.
Yep.
Juice McCaffrey says, what do you guys think about Kamar for weekly winners? Feel free to bash him. No, man. You're giving up maybe the first 3 weeks, but not even. Yeah, I guess you are. At 84, I'd say you're basically giving up the first 3 weeks, which is fine. So maybe you want that type of build to have rookies or have like JMO on it and just build for week 7 on.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. I'm a
rookies
little worried.
Start slow.
I'm a little worried Kamara's just not getting goal line carries, which really hurts his value. But they have like such an easy schedule that I could see them just like running the ball a lot and kind of grinding out games. Their win total is like 9.5 or something because they just have such an easy schedule. That division sucks, and I think
that's part of it. I mean, like Pacheco too. I love the Pacheco click. Just basically a bet against Mahomes, which is perfect. Up to you, Montgomery or JK.
We might have to take Zay Flowers here if we want him. What's our next pick?
Yeah, our next pick's at 92.
What are we gonna be able to get any of them at 90?
We should be able to get. Yeah, we have.
Oh, 2 going late. Behind Odell now? Okay. Yeah, we can just pass on. Yeah, we can pass on Flowers.
Yeah. We might be able to get both of these guys.
We'll see how much the chat likes us.
I think if we go Bateman first, I feel like Beckham usually
Beckham's more like people. He's very like polarizing. Like
agreed. Definitely agree there. So Connor,
I'm starting to warm up a little bit though. Like all the analysts at first were laughing at Odell. Like most analysts have just been like laughing at his ADP, but I don't know. Like if that offense is just really good, he's gonna get some. He's not. I don't think he's totally washed. He was pretty good the last time he played, which was a year and a half ago. But was the last time he played in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Was that when he tore his ACL?
Yeah.
That was like he didn't play at all last year.
Yeah, I remember he kept like, he's like, I'm going to go to the next Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah, then no one signed him.
Exactly. ER7, I appreciate you, dude. Said drop a like. Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see what comes back to us here. What are your thoughts on Rachaad White this season?
I don't know. I don't like it really. I'm pretty low on him. I just like not that confident he's gonna just be the guy there. Like, I don't know. What do you think?
I am sort of betting against that whole offense.
Yeah, me too. I actually like Mike Evans in this format especially, but
oh yeah,
no, I don't like. He wasn't like great last year. He was like a pretty good pass catcher, but his rushing stuff was not that good last year. And they got a couple like the Keyshawn Vaughn they have, and then Sean Tucker was like a pretty good prospect, but he had like a heart condition, I think, and now he's good to go.
Yeah.
They have Chase Edmonds too, I want to say. He's kind of sucks, but they have like a bunch of dudes there. I don't really think Rachaad White's like a clear cut guy there. He's going ahead of like James Cook.
I think he's the clear cut guy there, but I still don't have too much. Like, how much faith do you have in Tampa Bay, like being able to establish the run and sort of play that type of game, like game script?
Yeah.
I think the game scripts can be the most negative, but again, he's a pass catching running back. That's better in full point PPR than half. It's how many touchdowns are you going to get?
What did he do last year?
Let's see what comes.
Oh, somebody said
Pacheco goes.
You want to push the receivers again?
I think we can. Look how many are in between. Like, a ton of receivers are in between.
Yeah, we got the short.
It's because QBs in this format are all pushed up. I love the Pacheco click.
I'm with that for sure.
Yeah, direct bet against Mahomes.
Yeah, I like this so far. We're pretty balanced. We kind of have the doors open for whatever.
The door is open.
We can click anyone.
We're at 19 likes. If we get to 35 likes, I am going to do a second draft. Dooley's more than welcome to join me. It'll be completely up to his schedule.
Stay on. I got nothing to do. Drop those likes.
It'll depend how many beers he's got left in the fridge.
I got a 6-pack of Flower Power.
Oh, let's go. We're doing all 6.
That would be dangerous.
We're doing all 6. I'm doing 16 OZs though, so we got to balance. Who's the math guy? Who's the math guy in the chat?
That'd be me.
It's supposed to be.
Bateman begins. Oh,
do you have to create a formula for it? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'll plug it into my model.
I
got a number of beers per draft. That would be fun.
Let's go.
I think it's around 2 per draft, I would say. So I'm gonna have to run down and get another one here.
It's #this.
I need a little mini fridge up here. I'm slacking.
Dude, I need a mini fridge down here. Big time. Big time. Oh my God. It started.
Cole Turner? Is he starting over Logan Thomas?
It has started.
I saw somebody on Twitter today posted a weekly winners. That was
the Spike Week dude, Eric, I think.
Yeah, it was time for. Yeah, he did a Sam Howell, Cole Turner solo onesies with like 11 receivers or something. I don't really see how that's getting there, but I like that 11th receiver is just adding, like, to turn that into a second tight end is just adding so much more value to your lineup. I think it's like what is the 11th receiver really doing in that case? But I respect it. I mean, you're shooting for the moon there, but I just think that's a pretty low EV.
All right, it falls.
Yeah, I like Bateman.
It falls to us just as planned. Just as planned. Get Pacheco a little after ADP. Nothing crazy. We haven't had like any values fall to us, which I mean, you're not going to in a room full of pounders. That's one thing I've learned. Every draft I do on stream, I feel like I have to do 4 off stream to make up for that EV. Just there's not enough time. Not enough time in the world. Let's see some of these other teams. Yeah, go ahead. King of Kings start with Nick Chubb and Barkley, which is a fiery start. Debo, Mike Williams, Waller, Mike Evans. Oh, this is a sick team. Alvin Kamara and Zay Flowers. Let's see what he's going to do at QB. Herbert goes here at 39. Just like, we'll see what Dennis does with Herbert to correlate him. Brings in Quentin Johnson. Perfect. Can go Everett too. I think the double stack's a lot more important when it is. I'm going to be targeting it more when it is a tight end as the second pass catcher because the threshold is just so much lower. I think Dooley, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you went over some data and you sort of found that the flex spot is going to be around 20 points, 22 points.
That was Hayden. That was Hayden who did.
Okay.
Hayden did some stuff on like when like your wide receiver, like he went through like each position, like wide receiver, like 1 through 7, and when they did hit your lineup, like how much points were they providing you?
Yeah.
And pretty much the running backs, like after like wide receiver 3, it was like the running backs were scoring more than the wide receivers, like deeper. And then I did. Maybe you're thinking of the stuff where I put out. Well, I did a flex breakdown, and it was 53% running back, 35% tight end, or 35% wide receiver, 11% tight end. So you have like 50% more running backs than wide receivers in flex in the top 50 lineups.
That's not going to change this year, especially with the discount on running backs. I think that number goes up.
And half PPR too.
Yeah.
If DraftKings did something like this, it would be a different story, I think.
I agree with that.
Oh wow, the penny dip.
The penny dip. It sounds like a freaking a dive move into a pool. We're just gonna do the penny dip here. or is it a Super Bowl snack? I don't know.
The penny dip, yeah.
I don't think these guys are in here. I could be wrong. This name looks familiar. I'm cool with going RB here again.
Yeah, I'm cool with either of those guys.
Because we have 3 RBs. We hit this range later, and I think these guys are actually.
Yeah, I like these RBs
100 times better than the wide receivers. Yeah,
I actually kind of like Tyler Boyd in this. He's just a massive contingent play. If either of those top 2 guys go down, I think he becomes like pretty valuable. I have a lot of Zay Jones. Zay Jones and Tyler Boyd are like the only receivers I think I've ever clicked in this range. I don't really understand the massive gap between Zay Jones and Christian Kirk.
Who do you like between these two?
Oh shit, we're on the clock. My bad. Sharps is fine.
All right, cool.
We have Tyreek, so I mean it's probably fine to click A-Chain, but
yeah, you'd be battling with the Tua team most likely.
Yeah, A-Chain's probably not in the lineup, and then we don't have Tua.
But again, that rushing QB, like when we saw Tua with that blow-up game against actually the Ravens, where Hill went off and Waddle both went off. They were both the optimal receivers that week. Lamar was still the optimal QB.
Yeah, and none of his pass catchers really got there. I think Andrews had like 20, but he was expensive, and Gesicki had like 18, way cheaper. I can look at that.
And that's where like things that don't work with lower ceiling quarterbacks is like that. Like you really have to be thinking like if our first QB is even let's say Kirk Cousins or Daniel Jones, who still have, Daniel Jones has a pretty nice ceiling with the rushing. But if you have 2 pass catchers on Miami, how do they get there and be optimal? And you don't have the QB, and you got to have that elite rushing upside, in my opinion, or you have to be double stacked and they have to go off that week. Just little things you have to think about.
All
right. Are you clicking wide receiver in this range or
no?
Tight end?
I don't really need. I think I'd probably go Damian Harris here.
Okay.
I still am in. He's like kind of the same thing as Penny. It's like it's not great like the usage reports, but I just think him and Penny are both good enough rushers where they're just going to kind of force the way on the field. The teams are going to be like, oh wait, these guys are good. We should probably give them the ball.
Right. Especially in the red zone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, James Cook is not going to be the goal line back in my opinion. He's like 200 pounds or something, right?
Alex Max's I like weekly winners. Not many people stream them. Yeah, there's not many people really streaming these. I know Hayden's really trying to push it. Badge Bros do some, but they're just mixed. And Dooley's out here doing all of them.
I am weekly winners.
Dooley is just he's attaching himself to all sorts of plus EV streams.
Yeah, that's all I'm good for. Yeah, I went on with High Low. He's pretty into weekly winners too. He's sharp. He's got some good stuff.
What do you think? I'm trying to like compare this to a contest, right? Like, do you think this is harder than winning a battle royale?
What do you mean by harder?
Let's say a battle royale, let's say 50,000 entrants, but everyone knows how to basically draft those, right? And typically the lineup that finishes first doesn't always have the top 36 players. But do you think to, let's say not even first, because I know this is like 200,000. How many entrants is this?
It's 261.
261. But not every lineup is live every week.
Yeah, not even. And some lineups are just dead all the weeks because they just drafted dumb.
Exactly. And that's probably what, 16% of like two out of every 12 are basically just dead at the start, just by the way they drafted.
Not in this room, but most rooms.
Yeah, not in this room, which is fine. You're not playing. That's what I like about this too, is like you're not playing necessarily against this pod. Like you're playing against everybody.
Oh yeah, Dulcich is really.
Dulcich is gonna slide. He's gonna slide after that news.
Man, you're playing a dangerous game here, queuing up who you want.
I just left him. We'll just see. We'll just see.
We should bluff them. We should private chat and just click the guy we don't want.
Oh yeah, no. Sometimes I do that when I remember.
Oh, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Who did that? Is he in the chat?
Max Payne. No, it's fine. Do you like any of these receivers in this range, or are you still going?
I like Marvin Mims. Yeah, I'd be fine with Marvin Mims.
Okay.
Algier is a nice bet in this too. I like the guys where their contingency upside's like elite, right? Like,
and Algier has that.
They didn't draft Bijan. Where was Algier was going before the draft? He was going like in like the 6th or 7th round, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I like that stuff. Guys that we know can.
Even on just a down week for Bijan, if that's the week that Algier has his spike week, now you're ahead of what percent of the field? Like 8.6. And those teams are likely dead. Like we went over, if your first round pick, second round pick isn't there, it's 85, 90% finish rate for optimals, your first round pick. So
yeah,
I agree with that big time.
I think that's an edge. I think people are just dumping too much capital into like the same position, and I think you want to be spreading out your draft capital pretty evenly. Like if you don't get, you either want quality or quantity at the positions.
I'd rather quality at receiver and quantity at RB.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's what we're going to hit.
We want wide receiver to start. So, like I said before, in my opinion, that's you're kind of locking those guys in. So we just need Ayuk, Bateman, and Mims to
exactly
wide receiver 3 and maybe chip it up flex.
Carr goes at 143.
Really? He went before.
Would have been nice for this team, but
Thomas?
No. Taysom Hill, which is surprising because he can get it in there on the ground. I'm cool with. We're on the clock.
Yeah. I like Foreman.
Okay. This would probably be our last RB, right? Or we could do like a late, really late last round pick. But
yeah, I do like let me see our RB room.
Connor Montgomery, Pacheco, Zach Charbonnet, Damian Harris, and Dante Foreman.
We got a solid RB room. I'm
Yeah.
happy with that.
We have the leverage. This is the leverage back room.
Oh yeah, we're leveraging Fields. Yeah, we're leveraging Fields. Mahomes, Kelsey, those guys.
Josh Allen.
Oh
The
yeah.
Walker teams. The Gibbs teams. Yeah.
We don't really
It's a
have any other QBs we could. Right, this is looking like it's going to be I guess Purdy.
We could do a Purdy. Might be a little thin.
Here you go? No.
No, he's at 168. He would fall in the right range. Uh-oh.
Chig was going at like 120 like a few weeks ago, wasn't he?
McCaffrey said, Dooley, can you convince me to stop taking DJ Chark? I bet you can't.
He must have looked at the betting lines. I think that's why everybody kind of likes Chark, because Vegas is like, this dude's gonna get some yards. Which I kind of like his I like the Z receivers in this. I don't want like underneath guys.
How about Rashid Shaheed's betting line? Has anyone seen that on receiving yards?
Is it high or low? Or you know what it is?
It's high. He's going around like Terry McLaurin.
What? For his receiving yards?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Insane.
Wow. That's crazy. On Underdog? I'm looking up.
No, not an Underdog. I'll try to pull it up. If I could find it in the Discord, I could pull it up.
Why is there no pick'ems when I click NFL? Don't they have season long stuff on Underdog? Oh yeah.
Yeah. I haven't done any of those. I'm just gonna I don't want to see it the whole year.
I know, that's what it's like. It's kind of like I'm tying up all my money in Bestball, but then I'm like, no, I can't do season long pick'ems.
Right.
It's literally the same thing, but for some reason I just can't get myself to do it.
What's going on with Shaheed's injury? I believe it was a groin injury.
Isaiah Hodgins is 440 yards. His over under. That's crazy.
We can go Purdy here, or we can just push it late.
I like Alec Pierce. You do too, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
A-Rich put a dime piece right into his basket, and there was contact. He didn't. Yeah.
I'm kind of glad he dropped it, honestly.
Yes, let's go. Let's go. Big brain. We're
there was a couple things
against our favorite players now.
Yeah. No, people.
Oh God.
Like, I'm honestly so happy that Tank Dell caught that drop touchdown, because he literally dropped that pass, but he just luckily caught it. And then if he didn't actually catch that, his ADP would probably still be. And I want his ADP to go up, because
how about Trey Lance's touchdown throw today?
I didn't see it. Was it nice?
He threw an interception that got completely thrown over the guy's back. It was right to the defender, right into his arms, and it was like this, and it flung to a tight end 6 yards away.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, like stuff like that.
Just how he drew it up.
Or Fields' stat line. Like, if you just looked at the box score, you're like, holy crap, Fields. And then it was -7 air yards for 129 passing yards or something like that. All
guys,
three of the passes were behind the line of scrimmage.
How many picks do we have? We have 4 picks left. If we get to 35 likes before this draft's over, we are going to do a second draft.
I would say I don't like any of receivers. I like Purdy or Tajay. I'm big on Tajay Spears. I think he's a good pick in this. But yeah, we go.
I agree with the Tajay too. Let's send it with Tajay.
Yeah,
push Purdy. This sneakily opens up Tannehill too. Pass catching running back.
Yep. I think they're correlated on just in if the big dog goes down, then I think Tannehill and Tajay get a boost probably.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Lance season.
I don't know. I don't think Tannehill really gets a boost if Henry goes down, because that's a lot of free red zone trips for Tannehill that he probably wouldn't be able to drive it down the field on his own.
I just think their pass volume would significantly go up. Yeah, so
that might not be a good thing.
True.
Yeah, we're done. I would say we're done at running back. We can add.
I would say receiver, tight end.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
Same.
I think that
we can build this
yeah.
completely around. Like, hopefully, we can get a
Oh wait.
likely
Yeah.
197.
Honestly, likely is such a valuable pick to us, especially with only having Bateman. I feel like we just click him next and not risk it.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I keep forgetting we're on stream here. Hopefully the chat wants to play nice.
Well, he is injured. I can't say
yeah, he's hurt. Nobody should take him. I wouldn't take him.
But we will. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. If I were other people, I wouldn't. If I were us,
yeah, that'd be such a dumb move. You know, because we have Lamar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can't take a naked likely. Come on. You can bet on the number of 100-yard receiving games on Underdog. Like Chase is 5.5 100+ games. I didn't even realize
wow.
you could do that.
Interesting. They just keep adding more and more betting lines.
Isaiah Hodgins at 440. They just like don't think he's gonna be on the field. Like
that's funny.
That's crazy.
I looked where like Hayden had him ranked. He had him ranked like at 135 or something crazy high.
If you knew he was like the starting X receiver, which I think is locked in, right? Like he's I don't know. I think he's
Waller's going to be the starting X receiver.
That is true. He's like the only, I mean, I guess Waller, but he's like the only like X type guy there.
Yeah.
Hodgins.
Yeah.
After and then Slayton's like the only Z. I guess if Hyatt can figure out how to like get off the line of scrimmage, he's like really bad with like press coverage and stuff like that. So they line him in the slot so he can be off the line.
Okay.
But yeah, those two I think are like locked into their roles, and then everybody else is kind of just like fighting for like a rotational slot spot.
Definitely. And they added Cole Beasley, which is not good for that mix of slot receivers.
No. Maybe they just brought him in to mentor all those guys and just got him.
I don't know. I think he had 4 catches in preseason. I mean, he's an operator. He's a seasoned vet.
He is.
Not saying he has any juice in the tank left, but he might be able to get in front of the little band crew that they have in New York.
Yeah, what's up with Shaheed? Is he? I saw he was dinged up. Is it bad? People in the chat are asking.
It was a groin injury. It's the same groin injury that he was dealing with in OTAs. So I don't think you're going to see anything from him for the next couple weeks, to be honest. Which, like, I'm still a buyer of Shaheed.
Yeah, on DraftKings, it's so funny. Jewish McCaffrey, like they put the out tag on like anybody who like doesn't practice, so they just immediately fall an entire round just because of the out tag. It's really funny. Like when a bunch of guys got put on PUP, but we kind of knew they were going to go on PUP, which PUP doesn't really matter in the preseason. Like Pacheco and like Bateman and those guys just plummeting because of the out tag.
I love
it's definitely nice to just be drafting those guys when you like know that it doesn't really matter that they have the out tag.
We're at 25 likes, 10 likes away. 10 likes away.
Who's over under yards? Did you say was really high that I was trying to look at? Was it Shaheed? You said that was Shaheed. Like the same as Terry McLaurin. Yeah, Shaheed.
Parker here. We're on the clock.
Oh shit! Yeah, I have not been paying attention. Yeah, Parker, Slayton. Those are my two favorite. Late.
I have a ton of Slayton. So
you do?
Yeah, I agree. I do like Slayton more, but I think maybe a bet on Slayton, if he hits, right? If he hits optimally, gets 19, 20 points, that's going to give a pretty good chance for Daniel Jones to get up there.
Yeah. I don't get why Slayton goes so late. Like, is he really like a different bet than like Donovan Peoples-Jones or like Van Jefferson?
Right.
I feel like he should probably be going with those guys in like 150s.
I think Van Jeffy has less competition, but DPJ, there's plenty of competition there. And he has the rookie Cedric Tillman too that
like the same
might end up taking over by the end.
Yeah.
8 likes away. We'll pop off another draft after this. We are going to review some of these teams in here too. Sam 669. If you guys drafted with us, let us know where you're drafting from. I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sam 6690, not sure. Backdrop, J Pole, Raging Barflies, Red 44, and Oh Money Love. Not sure about those.
We got 43 watching. We could get those likes, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I went in there on my other browser and tossed the likes up.
Log into your Lizards account. 1 year ago today, it was just me, myself, and I, 3 viewers on the live stream.
Love it.
Ripping it up. Saying, hey, you should draft Josh Jacobs. He's in a contract year. It's too much fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
Yeah, it's okay. It's his weekly winners, Russian collusion. So if we give up a week, we're giving up a week anyways. Like we're giving up week 13 no matter what.
Yeah, you're always giving up like probably. I think on average you're probably giving up like 3 weeks. Yeah, so each team's probably live for like 14 of the 17.
Yeah.
Like
I wouldn't mind if all 3 tight ends had the same bye week.
Yeah, that's actually ideal.
Because then you have 17 weeks or 16 weeks of 3 tight ends or 16 weeks of 2 tight ends to spike in. Oh shit. The likes are coming. 31, 4 likes away. We'll get into a second draft after this.
Oh, Adam just joined.
Latavius Murray.
No, we did not target a specific week. Adam's asking in chat. I don't really do that.
No.
I think if you're like punting other weeks just to target 1 week, I think that's not ideal. If you can somehow target a week without really sacrificing much on the other weeks, then sure. Actually, somebody on Twitter was replying to me saying that there's I think it's like week 10 where there's like 7 or 8 guys in the first 2 rounds on a bye. And I think that actually like I'm not going to be just like targeting game stacks for a week, but if you can like swerve all those week 10 bye guys in the first 2 rounds and just and then week 10 it's like every team is hamstrung and you just have all your studs still going, that might be an edge because you probably can do that without giving up like EV on the other weeks, right?
Yeah,
as long as you're not like reaching for guys. I meant to look into it because there's probably a draft spot where it kind of lines up to just take guys at ADP that don't have that bye week.
Tight end for the last click.
Yeah, for sure.
Mind.
Oh, that's gross. Can you click tight end? I don't really like Hayden Hurst.
We're on tight ends.
Yeah. Wait.
Hayden Hurst, Noah Fant.
Wait, I think are you doing it on a different tab? I can't see you.
Yeah, my bad.
I don't know.
Noah Fant it is. Okay. I'm on
I can only say
I have a second draft room open. It must not be the one I'm sharing. Let me find it.
Funny,
so many. It wasn't pretty.
I didn't see him make the pick either, and I was like, "How did he make that pick?"
Dude, it wasn't pretty. Kate Otten, Darnell Washington.
Yeah, that's people are realizing, especially in this room, because like these guys are like usually like in a BBM draft, like most of these guys are still on the board in round 18. You can usually have your pick at like Hunter Henry, but people are realizing that you just want to pile on tight ends at the end of this.
Israel Abanikanda he's having a great preseason.
Is he?
So we'll see if they actually do bring in Cook there. It's crazy. Every day I wake up, I think I'm going to get news on the free agent running backs, and it's just nothing. It's like, are we going to go this whole draft season without knowing where they go? It's starting to feel that way.
It's a little scary. I have a lot of Leonard Fournette bags. So
let's pull this one up. We'll pull up some of these teams before we do jump into a second draft. Drafts completed. It's way too many. Or not enough.
I hate looking at that. Like, I don't know. I hate looking like how they're all broken up into like different categories.
We'll mark this one so we can send you to Hawaii when we win. All right. Bobert in the first, in the 1 spot, Jalen Hurts and Rodgers.
Value.
And one thing I did want to bring up is like a small nuance you can do, just different strategy. If you have bye week 10 guys, right? Like Jalen Hurts, target week 13, where elite QBs like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields are all on bye. I think that's completely viable. And then on the contrary, like if you have Josh Allen, maybe you're targeting week 10 because Jalen Hurts is on bye. Patrick Mahomes is on bye. So those little strategies, interests me, but you don't want to give up a whole lot when you do that still. And it's possible. It's just, you got to be fluid. At tight end, Goddard, Dulcich, and Ertz. Running backs, Walker, Swift, Cook, P. Ryan, White, Hubbard, JJ, Devonta Smith, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Lazard, Thielen, and Mechie. Is this enough capital early at receiver to get there?
It is a little light. I mean, you're locking in Jefferson and Devonta, right? Especially when you have Hurts. I like it. I think the running backs are a little weak. Like how many of those guys can realistically get there? I'm not sure. But
Right.
who does he have on the Jets? Anybody else on the Jets? Or he just went value hound on 30 picks
Just
on Rodgers? Okay. And he got 3 rounds of ADP value on Rodgers. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's a solid team. Well constructed.
How about for these late QBs like Rodgers plus, do you want a second pass catcher for the pocket passing QBs?
I would say so. Yeah, I would have definitely taken
like Conklin,
Hardman, or I would have prioritized Conklin. I would have definitely went Hardman or Corey Davis over John Mechie. Corey Davis he might be the wide receiver in 2 wide receiver sets. Lazard, I think he played over Lazard in the preseason. I think he played every snap at the start.
Dude, if Lazard keeps dropping the ball, he's going to make it very easy for Corey Davis to take that over.
I think they're running out Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis in 12 personnel. I honestly do.
Ueno in the 2 spot. Joe Burrow and Derek Carr has Hill, Irv Smith, Hunter Henry, and Hurst. I like that. Joe Mixon, Javonte Williams, Antonio Gibson, Jerick McKinnon, Kendra Miller, and Jeff Wilson. It's possible.
He's got a good team.
It's possible. Chase, Waddle, Ridley, Godwin, JMO, and DPJ. Yeah, I think it works. Are you likely targeting like week 3, 4 plus with this? With like maybe Javonte not getting a full workload at first?
Kendre.
Yeah, with Kendre, I think that might be the narrative for this team.
Yeah, I like this team.
I don't like the Derek Carr pick though. That I will say.
I agree. I don't.
The Derek Carr pick doesn't make a ton of sense because Taysom Hill, he throws touchdowns, he rushes in touchdowns. It's not always like he's pass catching. I did see a small note that he is getting a little more work in the passing game, but who knows if that translates to the field. Like they use him as like a gadget guy.
Yeah. Let me see what he did.
I'd rather Juwan Johnson with Derek Carr than Taysom Hill.
Yeah, he only had 2 receiving touchdowns. I would way rather Juwan Johnson. I'm kind of buying the dip on him. I still think he's their starting tight end, even though they kind of
yes. We love that. We love that.
He's like pretty good, and he was a wide receiver. Wasn't he a wide receiver when he came in the NFL? And he transitioned.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of like Pitt's build. Now he had usable weeks last year too. Spike week, like huge
touchdown guy. He had a high touchdown percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So last year, Taysom had.
Go ahead.
Oh no, Taysom had 2 receiving touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns, and 2 passing touchdowns. Taysom last year. Stat line's like
definitely a tight end. Definitely a tight end. Unreal. In the 4 spot, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray. I like that duo, especially like Kyler dropping to. There's just too much upside to not take Kyler.
Yeah.
George Kittle and Noah Gray. That's interesting. What are your thoughts on Kyler?
I'm not very optimistic about him, but like I understand. I try to embrace the range of outcomes, right? Like I could just, I don't really think he's gonna go crazy this year, especially because I've seen data on the rushing is probably gonna take a hit when he returns.
You trade away your number 1 receiver in D-Hop.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's an elite quarterback when he plays, and if he can be even like 80% of his old self, he's probably worth a pick in the 170s. So I don't know. I'm not like going crazy on him, but I get it.
I agree.
Understand
it. Eckler and Taylor.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, is that? You're good.
No, let's go through the lineup. I'll talk about the tight ends at the end.
All right. Eckler, Taylor, Mitchell, Algier, Gus Edwards, and Chase Brown. I like this RB room. I like that a lot. Christian Watson, McLaurin, Marquise, Kadarius. Yeah. I like this team a lot What were you going to touch on about the tight
Oh,
ends?
I mean, maybe they were all gone, but I was going to say I would have very prioritized McBride
Trey
or Ertz.
McBride.
The Kyler Ertz stack where they got 2 ACLs combined. They're both coming off torn ACLs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the receiver because he didn't get one like super early. So then he just like piled on a bunch of them within the window. I like that.
Yep.
Went too early RBs and then just said, I'm just going to hammer receiver. And then he just tacked on, a couple mid-round running backs. I really like the structure and the draft capital allocation here.
I like to have 5 by this Treylon Burks pick. Or you could add Sutton in there. We'll add Sutton in there. I think it could work for a week or two. And that's, maybe not saying that much about him, but we went with the solo Lamar build with Hawkinson, Likely, and Fant. A bunch of contingent RB2s and leverage plays on Swift, on Mahomes, on Walker, on Josh Allen, on Justin Fields, on Derrick Henry. I think that's super interesting to do, especially when you're doing a 0 RB build as well. And then we lean into our draft capital early. We get the stack with Bateman, Mims, Pierce, and Parker. And I think Parker probably goes a little too late. Look at week 17. I mean, was it week 17 or week 18 where he had a 2-touchdown game against Buffalo?
Yeah, he had like a 26-point
18,
game.
I think.
I can look real quick. I finally got myself a CSV with game logs, and it's so nice.
Let's go.
He had a 26-point game in week 18.
18.
So it didn't really count for fantasy, but yeah, he had 6 for 79 and 2 touchdowns. He also had what the hell? Week 3, he had 10 targets for 5 catches and 156 yards. What? That's such a weird stat.
I don't remember that.
No touchdowns either.
I don't remember that.
It's like, yeah, that's like 30 yards per catch with no touchdowns. That just seems bizarre. But yeah, he was pretty bad every other week though. But definitely a spike week guy.
He goes late, spike week type guy. Again, Patriots. They add Juju, but they lose Myers. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a 1-for-1 there with target share, in my opinion. Myers, in my opinion, as a Pats fan, I'd rather him there.
He's no chance of a 0. Like he's locked into. He might even lead them in targets. Yeah, he like a lot of those guys in that range. It's like they have upside, but they also could just as easily be a 0 most of the season. Whereas I think he has like some weekly upside, and he's not ever going to be a 0.
Do you think there's any overreaction to like the Tyquan Thornton now not being drafted? Where last year as a rookie, he was being sprinkled in the 18th round, and now it's like we're not even drafting him based off early camp news.
I agree. I think he's definitely a pretty solid last round pick at this point. Like, again, he's like kind of the bet where it's like, I mean, I don't think he ever really profiled as like a, like a full-time like X receiver or anything like that. He's kind of a gadgety guy.
Yeah, he's not getting 25% of the target share of any offense.
Yeah, but he's like a Mecole Hardman like type of gadget guy where they're going to manufacture some touches for him. So I think that's kind of what the bet is. So the fact that he's low on the pecking order, I don't think is that big of a deal. He also gets rushing at like week 6, he had his best game actually. I always think of week 17 because Crane had him in his lineup, but he only had 13.5 points week 17.
Did he flex in? Was that what it was?
Was he flex? I'm not sure.
Because he only got, I think like Crane's winning team, it only scored like around 160 points, I believe. 170.
Yeah, you really don't need to hit like anywhere near the optimal in the BBM finals.
No, not against 400 teams.
Yeah.
But to continue on with Toast, Justin Herbert and Geno Smith, Kelsey and Knox, Stevenson, White, AJ Dillon, Kenneth Gainwell, Jerome Ford, and Ty Chandler, Garrett Wilson, Christian Kirk, JSN, Quentin Johnson, Darnell Mooney, MVS, Justin Ross, and Terrace Marshall. So with Herbert, he grabs Quentin Johnston. Just the one. I would like to see Everett here too.
I would love to see Everett, Josh Kelly. I really think the late stacking is like if you're just analyzing like every pick in the 18th round, like the correlated picks are just I think just such better picks than a non-correlated pick. Like I would have tacked on probably Josh Kelly. Or I actually like Josh Palmer. Like I don't think he's that good, but he's another one of those guys where any of those three receivers get hurt, he's going to be getting like 70% of the routes.
Big time.
Yeah, massive contingent bet. I actually like him in this format.
It's a really good point. Geno
Especially
Smith.
if you only have one of the receivers, right? Because if you take two of them, then you take Palmer, then it's like, okay, well, if one of my two gets hurt, that's not worth taking Palmer because now I lost like a 5th-round pick. But if you only get one of those top 3 receivers, Palmer's a great addition because you have 2 outs. So in this case, if Williams or Keenan got hurt,
and it's leverage against all those Herbert teams that have that receiver on top of that receiver being dead. So
that's a great point.
Yeah. So who do you have with Geno? Is it just JSN?
Yeah, I would have won.
I'm starting to really like the teams that have the pass catcher and the tight end, maybe even more so than the 2 receivers, like you said, because I mean, we know that tight ends, they don't have to score as many points. So it's easier for them to get there. And then after tight end 4 to 20 is like the same guy. So it could be anyone on any given week. Do you like Fant though?
I mean, he goes so late that it's like, it's kind of tough to just be like out on somebody that late, but I think he's good. They just like, is he just bad at blocking? Like, why does he not play that much? Like he's like
he's like 3 tight ends.
Yeah, he's like losing snaps to Will Dissly and Colby Parkinson, but it must be because of the blocking.
Yeah.
Because he's like an athletic freak, isn't he? Like he's a good receiver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he must be coming off the field for like run plays. If he like, is there a chance he just becomes like an 80% plus snap share guy? Then that's a massive value, right? If you knew he was going to play 80% of the snaps, he's probably going by like Everett and like Higbee, right?
Definitely.
He's really only that late because he just doesn't play like all the time.
It's true. And King of Kings with Daniel Jones and Purdy, Waller and Laporta. This is getting interesting. Nick Chubb and Barkley. I like that start. Alvin Kamara, Tank Bigsby, Rashawn Johnson, Michael Carter, Debo, Mike Williams, Mike Evans, Zay Flowers, Cortland Sutton, Hyatt, Tank Dell. So definitely a team that's targeting like the end of the season or like week 6 on, with so many rookies. Who do you have?
I think that's too many running backs. You go RB, right? He went RB. Yeah,
Michael Carter, probably a tight end.
I would have stopped the Tank. I would not have taken Roshan or Michael Carter there.
Definitely can add another tight end.
Definitely added another tight end for one of those last 2 running backs.
Like you can add Roshan, in my opinion, but this has to be a tight end.
It's fine because it's again, like you said, this is kind of a later season team. Kamara's out the first few weeks. The rookies always come on late. Yeah, I would have went into Michael Carter. I would have taken.
I like what he did with the build though. Besides that, if that was a tight end, like sort of formulating it and saying, hey, this team, all right, Kamara's out for 3 weeks. I have a bunch of rookies. I'm going to target X. And he has a narrative for that squad. I think that's important thinking with each team. And he sort of identified that. Jones with Hyatt, which is sick, and Waller and Barkley. And I think that's okay.
He got Slayton.
And he got Slayton late. I think it's okay.
That's fine. They're so cheap. Well, exactly. I actually know Saquon and Waller or not, but
the receivers are.
What's your opinion on Saquon and Waller? I actually don't like that. I think that's too much draft capital, right? Like those two are not.
Barkley's getting there, if Barkley's getting there and Waller, Daniel Jones probably isn't.
Yeah, it's tough
with
for
like the rushing.
I agree.
Because Daniel Jones needs to score probably 30 points. Like QB, I think we established that like 30 points. So how does Barkley get, because he's going to need what, 24, 25? He'd have to catch a long titty.
I mean, maybe he could get there, but it's the draft capital really. But you spent 2 of your first 5 picks on the same offense. I'm not really doing that.
It would just have to be a big receiving game for Barkley.
Yeah. I mean, it can get there, but I don't know. It might be slim.
I still like the build. Even Waller, like if he misses and it's a Laporta week, that's not like a huge deal because he has these other pieces. And if it is that Laporta week, maybe you do have leverage on the teams that just have Jones, Waller, and one other. So it's definitely interesting.
Daniel Jones might be like my favorite quarterback in this. I'm trying to get like over 20% on him. No joke.
He's on the thummy for a reason. He's on the thummy for a reason.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah, I just noticed that.
100%. 100%. All right. We're jumping into another one.
Let's do it.
+5. I'm going to grab a water real quick. I'll be right back. And another beer.
I grabbed 2. Two spots. Jewish McCaffrey, got to get in this one. If you're still watching. All right, beer number 3. We're going at a pace of 2 per draft. Anybody from New York? We got Ithaca Brewing Flower Power. Pretty good. What's up, Ben? How we doing? Well, you missed the beginning, but we're ripping another one. So hopefully Pat comes back, or else we're auto picking Chase. But that's fine with me. I've been mixing in Chase at the 101. I think Chase's elite ceiling is higher than Jefferson's. He's more of a TD guy. He's at a higher TD percentage like every year he's been in the NFL.
All right, what did we get? We get the 2 spot. This is actually
interesting. Yeah, we did. I love the 2 because I think Chase is the 101 in this. So getting him at the 2.
In BBM, I think it's a very easy Chase click because of what comes back around.
You think it's not a Chase pick in weekly winners?
I think there's an argument. I think it's an easier argument you can make around McCaffrey because you could just do basically hero running back build and then sort of like draft like we did with running backs in the last one. But we can still go Jamar.
I've been mixing in Chase at the 101 because I want to be well overexposed on Chase.
I think the best argument for not going CMC might be just because RBs get hurt and let's draft their backup and let's take that case with that narrative. At the 3 spot, CMC or Hill for you? Is that where you're going, CMC?
Or the ADP's higher? I probably am just going CMC because of the ADPs. I don't reach around ADP too much in the first round. You end up like with super weird exposures if you start reaching around in the first round. Like if you were to take Hill over CMC every time, you'd end up with like 15% Hill and like 4% CMC or something, you know?
Mm-hmm. So you want to be pretty balanced between those two?
Unless I feel very strongly, I'm kind of just going ADP in the first round. I'm starting to get really excited about Bijan. Sorry, go ahead.
Thanks. I was just saying, I was just going to reach out to Ben. Hope everything's good with the fam. And thanks for coming in, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen Green here, pick 3. We donate CMC to you.
Oh, Jalen.
And he goes Kelsey, actually. He goes Kelsey. So I'm guessing he hasn't seen part 1 and part 2 of the stream. I'm just going to guess.
Yeah, he fell to 10 in our last draft.
King of Kings.
Yeah,
again.
Pang's got a good point. We could just take CMC and Tyreek. That would be solid.
Yeah, can we? Is that called streamer luck or is favoritism?
Pang's on Twitter, right? I think I recognize that name.
Instantly thrown away. Yeah, Davis Pang.
Oh yeah, okay. I know I recognize that name. Oh yeah, I actually pulled up one of my tweets. I think I might have brought this up on probably both times I've been on your stream, but I think it's a super interesting stat and it kind of goes along with the roster construction.
Yeah.
So I looked at only players with a 150 plus ADP last year and saw essentially I took the number of possible like RB spots. So like 17 times 50 teams times 2.5 because it fills 50% of the flex. And then I looked at like what percentage of the RB spots, what percentage of the wide receiver spots, and which percentage of the tight end spots were drafted after pick 150. And it came out 17% of RBs, 9% of wide receivers, and 42% of tight ends.
How about
That's
what's
crazy to
QBs?
me.
What's left for QBs?
I didn't do a QBs actually.
Okay. I think there was
look at it.
someone right on the fringe that went right after Trevor Lawrence.
Lawrence was like 154, so he probably would have counted. Yeah.
Yeah, so he
I
would
can
definitely be.
I can
He'd
do that
probably
real quick.
skew the data a little bit,
The data
but
is
it's there.
descriptive. It's definitely descriptive, but rather than, I mean, it's I guess somewhat predictive in the sense
It's
that
hugely telling for tight ends, which is why
I did take out Taysom and was like, okay, maybe we're just never going to get another Taysom at pick 200, and it was still 34% tight end or something like that, so still double any other position. So that's like that. I already was like leaning into late tight ends, but then seeing that stat, it's like, just give me the late tight end bullets. Like those guys don't even have to do that well to like matter. Oh, we're gonna have a good pick here. Let's go. Let's go.
I wanted, dude, if we got Barkley at 23,
it would have been sick because of the uniqueness from ADP, but I think that's easy power
for
pick.
sure.
Yeah, and then any of those top 3 next, I think, is nice too.
Do you ever get unique here? You ever just think about it?
And well, yeah, because you're never going to get a Fields Chase pairing other than if you just reach on Fields. That is actually a good point. If you think uniqueness matters at all in BBM, then you should be really leaning into uniqueness for this.
10
because
times more.
Essentially uniqueness does not matter one bit from weeks 1 through 14 in BBM, right? Getting unique against your draft mates
you just want to advance.
There's no such thing. It doesn't give you any advantage. And then even in weeks 15 and 16, there's only 15 teams. Like, so, right? Is it 1 of 16, 1 of 16, something like that? So like the chance that you're 1-2, even if you go with a chalk 1-2, like in rounds 1-2, the odds that chalk is even in your group of 16 is probably super slim. So to try and get unique, it's like uniqueness only even matters a little bit in week 17, in my opinion. But for this, you got 17 weeks of 261,000. Uniqueness matters.
It matters a ton. I think it matters actually a lot more, and you don't have to like overextend, right? The reason we make Justin Fields work here is because he's not coming back around to 47. So no one can have a Jamar Chase, Tony Pollard, a 3rd round pick, and then have Justin Fields at 47. I think
nobody's getting 47 Justin Fields.
I think it's extra interesting that we got a small ADP slip on Tony Pollard, and now we pair it with just a small reach up over Lamar Jackson for Justin Fields. Under 1%, like instantly under 1%. And what are we giving up?
Yeah, not much, like nothing, essentially.
Dead.
He went Mahomes Herbert. Thanks for paying the rake, buddy. What was I gonna say? Oh, I used the Spike Week overlay. It's pretty sweet. And you can change, like, you can put like so many different things on the screen. It kind of gets overwhelming. I try and like limit how many things I have on the screen. But one of the things I do like is you can add your percent exposure tied to your round 1, 2, 3 pick. And I've been I've been using that as a tiebreaker a lot, because I don't want like all of my Chase teams, like whose ADP lines up with Chase, like Henry's like 23 ADP-ish. I don't want all my Chase teams tied to Derrick Henry, you know?
Right.
I want Chase with like all those. I want to like mix in all those running backs with Chase. So I've been using that. So like if I'm in round 2 and my thing says I have 0% of like a player with my round 1 pick, then I want that, you know? I think that's if you're going to do 150, if you can do 150 teams, you want to be like, you want to be spreading out your combos.
And I'll add to that, especially towards the end of the season after all the ADPs have adjusted. I think it's tough to do that early on.
I agree.
And you can make a small click within ADP within 3-4 picks, but with the amount of movement in a long contest like BBM where it's open for months, now at the end, I think you can start to do that. I love that idea. It's a nice tiebreaker.
Like I was looking at it a few days ago and I was like, I have like 30% like cup of, like when I take cup, I have Olave and like 30% of the team or something. I'm just like, I I don't want that. Like, I
Yeah,
don't want
right.
40% of my cup teams tied to Olave. Like, I want to be a little spread out.
That's funny.
I think
You
another thing
do
that's
get in the
interesting too,
swing. You get in the swing of like the same click and you don't even know it.
yeah. I think another thing that's interesting, but again, like you said, we're on the clock. I'll try and remember. I was going to talk
I
about
think it's
reaching at the
one of
1, 2,
these
3.
two.
I like Big Mike over DJ Moore. Oh wait, we have Fields.
Right.
I think I like.
Ooh, he did us dirty.
He did us dirty, man.
He did us dirty. He said hi in the stream.
What? Did he say hi in the stream and then just
Yeah.
sniped our stat? Oh
Right.
man.
But he definitely.
Brutal.
I don't think he watched the first 2 streams. We'll go over it later.
Oh, you're about to hit 800 subs, Ben said.
Did we hit 800 subs? Appreciate you guys. That's crazy. I think we started with 799.
801
tonight.
801.
Let's go. Welcome to the pound. Shit. Like I like elite tight end. I like receivers here.
Yeah, Hawk. I think I like Hawk.
Hawk after
back-to-back Hawk teams.
Couple picks after. It's okay. We're hawking right now.
What does Jewish McCaffrey asked? Dooley, do you have any data on the starting ADPs when Weekly Winners was released? All of the elite QBs were initially. No, I don't. I don't even know how to get that data, to be honest. But I don't. They were early, but it's probably they probably adjusted like pretty quick. There's probably not that many teams with like 3rd round elite QBs, I would say. But the issue with this is like if there exists some crazy super team, you got to go against that team even if you weren't in their draft, which kind of sucks.
Yeah,
and this format would be an absolute chaos on DK because there would be some ridiculous teams in this on DK.
Let me pull up my first. I'm gonna just quickly peek at what my first Weekly Winners team looks like. What sucks is I sort of
does it lock the ADPs like from that draft, or does the ADP? You know what I mean? Does it update the ADPs like on your completed teams? I guess is what I'm saying.
I'm not entirely.
Well, we can.
Oh, it doesn't show you. I copy.
Does it not show you the ADPs? Yeah.
So I don't.
What's Fields' ADP right now? He was 36.8 in my first draft. Is he still 36?
Around 30. 31.8. So it's not a huge change, to be honest.
Yeah, he's only moved up 5. Let me see some of my.
But how early were you doing the weeklies?
Yeah, you're right though. I didn't jump in right away.
I faded them early because I was like, you know what? I don't like the payouts, and then I started doing the math and figuring that like not all 260,000 teams are live. So I did delay about a week, which that's the best time to hit is a new contest with new ADPs. That's the best time to hit it.
That is a good point by Jewish McCaffrey, though, that the fact that there probably does exist some 3rd round QBs makes the fade even nicer because if you're hammering elite QBs now, you're going to be going against a couple thousand round 3 QB teams. Jewish McCaffrey said that the ADP like locks in. So as soon as you finish that draft, it just locks the ADP into. But I didn't do any right away. McCaffrey probably did. He's already maxed out on this psycho.
8.3% of those teams have Tim Patrick. 8.6.
Yeah. R.I.P. Tim Patrick, man. That sucks for him.
I know.
I've been naming every single one of my Weekly Winners teams because you're going to be sweating them. So like, I just want to, like I've been putting like my stacks and then like my first 3 picks in the title.
I like it. I don't really name them just because I don't know. I'm always drafting. It's like draft.
I don't name any of my other ones, but I think if you're going to name any teams, Weekly Winners would be the ones to name because you're going to be looking at them every week. And
I'm jealous of people that are super organized with their drafts and their names. I really am. But Pete Over, it's so satisfying. He has like every single one named with like the date, the number, the structure, like what show he did it on. Dude, people got emojis for each team name or each team. Like
I've never thrown an emoji in there. That's funny. Can you put an emoji in the team name? I'm always on.
Dolphins everywhere. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Naming equals plus EV. Peng, thanks. I don't name anything. I name weekly winners, but I've never named it.
Oh, Ben says Tua at 102 stack with Tyreek in my first weekly winners.
That's pretty sweet. His ADP is like 70 now, right?
Gross. That's gross.
Yeah, 72. That's wow.
2.5 rounds.
There are going to be some pretty good teams.
Let's go, Ben. I'm sending you $5 on Venmo. I'm buying half that team.
Fields ADP in my first weekly winners. 40. Look at pull up Jewish McCaffrey's comment.
Damn. Yeah, that was basically so. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they just took BBM's ADPs and just said, "Here you go, have fun."
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. I think.
Gross.
Oh, Peng says naming's plus EV, and then he says he doesn't name it. So I don't know.
I can't.
Yeah, I can't believe McCaffrey's maxed out already. That's crazy, but I respect it.
Who do you like?
Oh wait, dude, I keep not paying attention. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm between these two.
I like the value on JSN here. You're getting like almost 2/3 of a round value. We need receivers. I do like Pickens in this format, like more than he's so one-dimensional. Like he's just like a pure downfield receiver. He has like him and Deontay Johnson are honestly like perfect complements. Like they are polar opposite receivers.
Yep. Contested catch for George Pickens.
And then just like Mr.
Like no separation.
Yeah, no separation.
Johnson. Are you good with the Pickens pick here?
Oh yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, cool.
Then Deontay Johnson just like he's just getting like a yard of separation on like every route, but can't score touchdowns.
Oh God, this is the year. You know, Pickett looked good in the preseason. I don't know if you saw that, but he was on.
What was that? Pickett
looked.
Good. Again, that's like a range of outcomes thing for me. I actually don't think he's good, like from a personal like player take standpoint. But you know, I'm not. I could be wrong. And there's definitely a portion of the range of outcomes where he takes like a pretty good second year leap and you know returns like 10th round value or something. You know?
So Trevor Lawrence was going last year is around where Pickett goes.
He wasn't nearly the prospect Trevor Lawrence was, but you could get something similar. I mean, in hindsight,
but look at the offense he has.
He was crazy for taking Trevor Lawrence at 150 last year. He was like the best QB prospect since like Andrew Luck, and added. I mean,
but he went to the Jags. That was They like bribed Christian Kirk to get him over there.
Oh wait, I was going to ask you about the Jags receivers. What did you see in the preseason game that their 12 personnel was Zay Jones and Calvin Ridley, and Christian Kirk's the slot guy? Dude, I've been fading Kirk and I've been all over Zay Jones and Ridley, and that made me happy because, dude, they didn't.
I don't know.
I think Christian Kirk had 10 more targets than Zay Jones last year, or something like that. Like
it's the preseason though. It's the preseason.
Yeah, but the 80 pick gap between those two, I don't think they're that different.
What I do like about Zay Jones is the red zone. Like I think he's going to be a huge impact in the red zone again this season.
He's probably a favorite to run more routes than Christian Kirk this year.
But he's not as good as Christian Kirk. I think that's the problem.
But is Christian Kirk that good? I don't know. We'll see. But they didn't do that differently.
Christian Kirk's going to be he's a much better number 2 than number 1, in my opinion. Christian Kirk,
he's not a
great number 2.
Guy, I think. Like, let's see, how much percent of his routes did he run out of the slot last year? Well, he's going to get moved in the slot this year because Ridley's an outside X guy.
Peng. Christian Kirk is better than Zay. Let's not get crazy. I think he's speaking relative to ADP. Relative to ADP.
The gap should not. I think Zay should be going like 2 rounds earlier, and Kirk should be going a round or 2 later. I don't think there's that big of a gap between those two. And the stats last year proved it. They were not very different in stats last year. Christian Kirk ran the 3rd most slot snaps in the NFL last year. He literally is a slot guy. And Zay Jones could run more routes than him. He ran 518 routes last year. What did Zay Jones run? Although I don't think Jacksonville's running much 12 personnel. They might like lead the league in 11 personnel, so it might just not matter. Yeah, Zay Jones ran 20 less routes than Christian Kirk last year.
Insider info right there. Insider info.
Yeah, I don't know. Peng's pretty. Oh, sorry, dude. I have not been dialed into this.
You're good. There's no one even light years for running backs. The next one's Antonio Gibson.
We don't really need more. Yeah, I don't really like the reach on a guy who's probably going to fall, but I don't think we really have a choice.
Yeah,
we kind of just need. Yeah, I don't know. No, I'm not saying like I would like if I could just pick a receiver to put on my NFL team, I would pick Kirk over Zay Jones. But I'm just saying I don't think the gap is 80 picks of ADP.
14 picks on Flowers.
Yeah, that looks nice, and that's like kind of the end of the tier there.
I think a lot of these teams with most of these players too are going to have Lamar just based on
for sure.
where we drafted from.
And we got
the fact that we have Jay Fields is interesting.
Hawk for the Andrews leverage too. Like it.
And back to back. So we have 2 rookies already. Something to note. We'll see. Where does Kamara go?
Penny might take a few weeks before they realize he's just really good. Pickens is going to be in the first 3 rounds next year. That's maybe. I don't know. I think he's kind of too. I think he's like.
Damn.
I think he's like a better. I think Pickens is like a better Gabe Davis. I don't think he's ever going to draw like a 25% target share.
He's like a better Devontae Parker. Where he doesn't Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where he doesn't separate. They're very similar. Pickens and Parker were last and second to last for separation.
It's hilarious.
Very similar, but they're very good at contested catches too. So I like Pickens. If he makes the step up, the biggest thing is Pickett, in my opinion. If he can throw an accurate ball for only where Pickens can get it.
Pickett becomes a really good pick in this if you have Pickens. Like, I like there's this dude on Twitter who's like goes on the Badger Girl sometimes easy. I think it's like Eric Z.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
He made he did a bunch of analytics on correlations and stuff. And like, did you see the draft helper thing he made where you like plug in your picks and it essentially like
the easy draft? I covered it on stream.
And it like it would probably like if you have Pickett or Pickens, like it would probably tell you Pickett is like 3 rounds more valuable, which like I kind of agree with. But you're obviously not going to take him 3 rounds ahead because that's
right.
Just stupid, but it does make that player a massive value, and you really should be targeting, I think, players like that within a few picks of ADP.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we touched on this before too. I think that system is actually more accurate for weekly winners than it would be Best Ball Mania.
100%. Yeah, you should like double the correlation, I think, for this versus like
because
BBM. So yeah, I agree.
In BBM, I find it hard to believe because 2 out of 12 teams advance. Like there's in no world should you be reaching 3 rounds. Now that's how important they are. Like, so you should keep that in the back of your head. I just didn't find it too like helpful. I think if you were new, it could be a massive benefit for people that were new.
It is like hard to use it while you're drafting and shit, but
I would always forget to plug in.
See somebody try and quantify correlation because people always talk about it, and you're always using it as tiebreakers. Like, how much does that actually matter? And I think that's what he was trying to get at. Peng says he's a genius. He did seem very smart.
Yeah,
it's
super nice. The thing's super nice.
I was like, that's insane. Like I consider myself an Excel guy, but I don't even know how he did some of that stuff.
Gino here would make sense. Here would make sense. With Charbonnet would make double sense.
That would be beautiful. I hope is Jesse Timo? Is Jesse Timo in here? Be nice to us, buddy.
I don't think he is. He's got 3 QBs. It doesn't even matter.
He's not in the chat if he has 3 QBs. He's 3-2-2-2-2. That's a hilarious build. 9 rounds. 3-2. Let's see if you can get to 3-3-3 before.
Oh my god. Oh.
I probably wouldn't go Sharps without Gino.
You wouldn't. I think it's still a contingency bet against
Yeah. Okay.
Walker.
I'm with it. Yeah. It's cheap enough. It's cheap enough. I wouldn't be going like Higgins and Mixon, like for example, but yeah, this is cheap enough. Calvin Austin is looking like a big play guy. Don't say that, man. I have Allen Robinson bags.
Gross. Deserved.
I know. Disgusting. I don't know.
So we're leaning into these receivers. Like we got 5 receivers by Zay Flowers. So obviously going to be
maybe one more
later.
Probably let's get a stacked guy with Fields. I think that's probably the play. One more receiver. It can be Claypool, or are you buying into that Tyler Scott stuff?
No.
The original AR. What is he? Oh, Anthony Richardson or Aaron Rodgers?
The original.
Who is the original AR? What does he mean? I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be Rodgers. Davis, stop speaking in code. Allen Robinson.
Oh, Allen Robinson. Yeah, sorry, my bad. That was. Pickett is fine. Matt Canada's play calling is not fine. I agree. Matt Canada's a clown, but maybe Pickett still makes the jump.
Do you like Mooney here? As probably be our last receiver. We're just not guaranteed to get Komet.
I don't really love the board here.
If we were guaranteed to get Komet, I would say we could skip here, but not picking for 20 picks, 143, and he goes at 134.
Oh, yeah.
So we were going one or the other.
Yeah, you basically would have taken your pick there. It's fine. We're gonna need to be like hammering RBs the next 2 picks. We're kind of weak RB
or more. Well, it's Pollard plus 1, which makes me feel better.
Yeah, no. Hey, you're catching on to my strategy there. You're locking Pollard in. Yeah, we just need the rest of them to fill 1 and 1.5. Right, it's 50% flex.
If your second round pick busts, like you're not cashing that week.
You can, I mean, what it was 80% or something 85. Like that. You can, but like you don't want to be playing for those weeks. Like you want to optimize for like your week.
The way you should be thinking when you build the team should be all right.
If you lock into it,
Pollard plus 1.
Yeah, I agree.
And we'll just hit late tight end, sort of like we did last time. Oh, yeah. Late stacks. I mean, Pickens is still there. I think Pickens is really it. Pickett, excuse me.
Weekly winners.
Jacobs fell 10 spots past ADP. Burrow available. Any consideration for Jacobs? What's his current ADP?
That is tough because honestly, the Chase Burrow stacks and weekly winners might be not like unique, but I don't think there's a ton of Chase Burrow teams because his ADP is like, because you're always getting Chase at 1 or 2, and Burrow's ADP is like midway through the 4th round.
42.
So, and 42. The Higgins draft like almost always has a shot at him, right? So Burrow has to fall like 6 picks past ADP, and the Higgins drafter has to pass on him, and the idiots that take naked Burrow have to pass on him. So I don't think he's going to be that stacked up with Chase. So that is tough.
What do you think, around what, like 20%?
20% of the Chase teams have Burrow.
Yeah. And then maybe those teams have T. Higgins and Chase.
Yeah, I would say 10%.
Say the only reason, like here, like T. Higgins, this squad had Josh Allen. So if they had a brain, would not be taking Burrow. And you see those QBs go right in this range too.
Yeah, true. I mean, if you say it's 20%, then so there's 261,000, only 21,000 can even have Chase. And then if you say 20% get Burrow, which I think it might be less, that's only 4,000 Chase Burrow teams, which I mean is that's a high number, but relatively it's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if you're, I feel like you're leveraging 80% of the Chase teams, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Komet goes at 137.
Oh, damn. Yeah, it was probably
almost came back around.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, only a few picks away. That would have been clutch. What are we looking at here?
I mean, we're praying for Elijah Mitchell, in my opinion.
Oof, yeah, if he goes, we're gonna have to take fucking Mostert. Brutal.
Oh, we're fucked.
I mean, I don't like reaching really, but I think we just need RBs. We already have 6 receivers. What is your 7th receiver doing?
What does reaching for Kendry Miller Gainwell do?
No,
we could just come back. We could just come back around and double tap RB there. We can go Mostert though.
I would go. Yeah, I think we need one here.
I'm cool with that. Guys, if you're just hopping in here, drop a like on the live stream. If you're new to the channel, drop the sub. We're doing a 24-hour live stream. We could reach 1,000 subscribers before NFL kickoff. Also have a free draft guide for Bestball Mania located in our Discord. Link is in the description. If you guys haven't already, go in the description. Give Dooley a follow on the Twitter machine. Dude's producing just big brain threads all the time. All the time. Now I put the pressure on you. We want more.
I'm going to try and do 2 more threads this week. I'm going to do stacking and then probably wide receiver. I still haven't done wide receiver, like a full deep dive on wide receiver or running back. So I'll probably
this guy
one of those.
He's not even on auto.
Dude's just milking the clock, huh?
4-4-2-2 build. Really leaning into those 2 elite receivers, like Dooley said. He's just following your advice.
Wait, oh my God, this is the dude with the crazy build. He's got 4. Oh, he's making the dream come true. You might end up with a 4-4-4-4.
I'm gonna cry.
What is he at now? A
4-4-2-3. This is the way. This is the way. All right, we gotta pick. Chiggy's fine.
I would say Osborne or Marvin Mims, honestly, or reach for Foreman. I don't really like Chig.
Foreman, I think negatively.
You got the Pete Overzet fingers on that one.
Yeah, it's the fast twitch muscle fibers. Fast twitch muscle fibers. You can't teach this. You either have it or you don't.
Dooley, can you open your threads with things that will help me dominate my leagues?
Yeah, it would.
Oh, he's saying I should go like Sal Vetri style on him. No, I don't really. I'm not really a big content guy, honestly. This is like the first time I've ever posted stuff like this. Threads with things that will help me dominate. Yeah, I should start using all these buzzwords and emojis and capitals.
Right. Shift emoji. Shift.
Yeah, some of those are so brutal and cringy, those threads. I muted all those guys, I'm not gonna lie. Like Sal Vetri and there's a couple other ones that do that.
Yeah.
It's not even Bestball.
That's a money grab.
3 redraft leagues. Have you done anything on FFPC or any of that stuff?
I have one team for the Warrior Bowl. Just kind of dipping into a different format. And yeah, draft one good. It's definitely a sharp crowd. But
yeah. The FFPC draft did not seem sharp. I've watched a few streams of Karain and Pete and Ben Gretchen drafting, and they don't seem that sharp. I kind of want to hear on.
I've seen some of our pounders that posted their team, and they absolutely smashed their draft too.
Hell yeah!
But yeah, I run a league too, with my buddies. I'm running the Founders Pounders League. It's gonna be the first year for the Patreon, first 11 Patreon members that joined, and yeah, we're gonna be doing fun prizes for that. Just gonna be putting some dough towards that, which would be cool.
Yeah, I have my first redraft draft tomorrow night. A bunch of my buddies, so that'll be fun.
Wow, that's early, man. That's early. You gotta talk to your commish. You gotta talk to the commish after the last preseason games. Our rule.
Commish might be watching. I send him my streams. He's pretty into Bestball.
Sick. Love that.
My barber actually.
Love that. I want to bring my barber on for a stream and just have him draft a Bestball team. Because he's just a redraft cat. He's just a redraft cat.
Really? Yeah, I got my barber Jesse into Bestball. He's a grinder now.
Hilarious. In between cuts, 1 sec, I'm on the clock.
League draft. What was that?
I'm on. He's telling his customers 1 sec, I'm on the clock.
Yeah.
So we're hoping Kenny Pickett makes it back to. Oh yeah, he should 180. I mean, you can't trust this guy to the left of us though. He's got 4 QBs. He's just being an absolute hoarder.
He's a wild card, dude. I think he's just throwing darts at the board.
Dude's gone rogue, and we do have the rogue emoji for the YouTube members. that want to join for the special emoji. And also it actually comes with a little draft tip-off section in the Discord. We'll let you know when we're jumping in. That's why King of Kings gets into every single draft with us.
What's Pickett's ADP?
He's definitely done at receiver.
Yeah.
We're definitely done. Honestly, like the KJ Osborne pick might save like the early portion of the season for this team too.
Mm-hmm. We have 7 receivers right now? Yeah, we're definitely.
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
We have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We have 5 picks left. Probably QB, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. Probably.
QB, 2 running back, 2 or 3 RBs, 1 or 2 tight ends, I would say.
Who's your favorite round 18 RB that like is kind of always there?
Right now?
Yeah. Like, yeah, I would say like Deion Jackson and down.
There's Ty Chandler buzz. Like Joshua Kelly just seems like the locked in number 2 there if anything happened to Eckler. I'm not.
Mm-hmm. I like Latavius Murray. Maybe I'm a little biased. But
I can't. Chase Brown's
I don't know,
interesting.
man. He's like the clear handcuff to.
I like the Singletary click here.
I like Foreman over him. No, you like Singletary?
No, because negative correlation with Foreman.
Oh, we have Fields. Yeah, probably don't know Foreman. Yeah, I'm close.
But like a bet against.
I think Singletary is like pretty live to be the third down back. He was playing like every third down for the Bills last year. He's like a solid catcher. And we got another Dooley in the chat. Let's go.
Come on. There can't be a second one though.
Yeah, no.
You guys are cousins, so you don't even know it.
There's so many Dooleys. There's like a Dooley's Irish pub there. O'Dooley's, I think, in Boston.
When I was making this the Twitter post that we're going live, I was gonna say O'Dooley's rule. But too cringe.
Yeah, this dude's duping me. Those just dropped 50 places. Are we out on him? Did he go 50 picks after ADP?
Did he? Let me peek that.
Or did he just mean like
he didn't drop 50 already. He might have. No, he didn't drop 50 here either.
145. Yeah, he was never going at 90. I
think
he was going at like.
Honestly,
I want to say
you can scoop. You can scoop the Dulcich falling. I think that's pretty safe.
Yeah, I still think. I think that's one of the things where you can't look too much into the preseason. Yeah, I'm fine with Kendra.
We can go Kendra.
I am a little scared of him, but I think he's talented and he probably needs an injury, I think, to do anything this year. Honestly, I don't really think he's just going to take over.
And I think that's fine. We have time too, because we're leaning into the rookies sort of in this build.
Rowdy got Dulcich at 190. That's insane. I would click him every time there. Yeah.
God damn.
That's crazy.
Why didn't you click him at 170?
Yeah, that means you passed on him, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna need a battle of the Doolies soon. You're gonna have to jump into one of these streams with us. Tank Dell at 171. I can't do it.
That's insane. I can't do that either. I hope he just keeps rising. People can click him. He took Mechie too. I wonder if he's probably tacked on Stroud.
Yeah, he'd have a triple there.
Well, who else does he have?
He also grabbed Nico. Wow. Schultz. It's 4.
Hey, I mean, oh my God.
And Pierce.
Should we snipe Stroud on him? Let's reach on Stroud.
We'll bring in Robert Woods.
Wait, we lost Pickett. Where did Pickett went?
Dude, Pickett went at like 163 because the guy to the left scooped 4 QBs. Yeah.
It was the idiot. Oh no, was that
no, man. But like no one has QBs because this guy has them all. So people had to start reaching.
Wait, can we look at that one spot's team? He has a hilarious build, right? I want to see what he's up to.
It's a 4-5-3-3. Yeah. He's leaning into your strategy, though. You told him this.
Dude.
You told him this. JJ, he's leaning into JJ. He heard 90% of the teams have the first round pick.
You love it.
And then Mingo clearly going to be a top 12 receiver this year. So he's just going to stick with these three.
Chris Bork in the chat asking for, I'm assuming you're talking about redraft, Chris? Said I'm drafting 108 this year. I'm assuming he's talking about redraft.
Oh, nice.
My strategy would probably be try and get like Bijan or Eckler there, and then take like Amon-Ra or Garrett Wilson or Devontae on the way back. That would probably be my ideal
cool
start. What about you?
I'm dipping into redraft starting the 15th or 16th. I'm gonna start doing some redraft content. Okay, but cool. My rankings are coming out for the Patreon members, and then we're going knee deep. But still, I'm super best ball minded. Still, I have to make that switch over. I just really need a peak, like the ADPs, and I looked at Yahoo a little bit, and it was like just egregious.
Just wild.
It was, yeah. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So
McCaffrey's asking Pitts or Waller. What do you prefer, Pitts or Waller in weekly winners? I think they're pretty.
Honestly, I'd prefer Waller in my opinion.
Yeah, I honestly, I like both of them a lot.
And here's the reason: like Atlanta has a number one in London, the Giants don't. He is the number one.
London is a dog. I think he's really good.
And I'm saying Waller too because I have a ton of Daniel Jones like you. Like he's one of my favorite targets for weekly winners.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have QBs, right? We don't have. Yeah,
that's fine.
I mean,
that's how my one QBs like end up. My one QBs, I don't really ever go in being like, oh my god, 30 picks of ADP value on Hodgins, but I don't even think we can do it.
How about RBs?
This is gross. Is Zeke or CPAT? I guess Zeke for the value.
I want to take Hodgins. This guy's.
I want to take Hodgins so bad.
If he doesn't take Hodgins, I just sign out. We all go home. I'm already home, so I don't know where I'm gonna go. If this guy doesn't take Hodgins, I'm gonna cry. You guys are gonna see me cry on stream.
This is gonna be hilarious what he does here. I really wish I could like get in the mind of this guy and see what his thoughts are.
Auto pick him, please. Auto pick him, please.
Somebody in the chat sniped pick it on us, but he said he had a double stack, so I'll let it slide.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
He
auto picked. It was an auto pick. Oh, Terry Green's at 6. All right, Green Bean. I just when the names don't like fully correlate with the YouTube account, it's hard to remember them all.
Yeah.
We'll cover these three teams afterwards.
Rowdy's talking about Pacheco with Mahomes and Kelsey. I would not do that in weekly winners. I would do that in normal best ball. Oh God, this is so gross. Tight end. I think we just go tight. I think Hunter Henry. Yep. I think Hunter Henry. The tight ends might be wiped out by the time it comes back to us.
Liam Murphy put out a post about like Hunter Henry stance. And I just wanted to send the wave emoji. Like that is, I am he.
Yeah.
I am the Hunter Henry stan. I've been here since the big board.
Me too, dude. I've been smashed. I have so much Henry. He might be my highest exposed tight end across like everything. Him or Knox probably.
Chris, welcome to the live stream. Says, would you reach for Amon-Ra or Wilson at pick 108 and redraft? I like them more than CD, Diggs. Dude, it depends. Half point, full point. I'm probably still taking CD over Amon-Ra. Diggs too. It depends. If it's full point PPR, I think it's CD without a doubt. You could twist my arm and say like Amon-Ra CD over Diggs in full point PPR, but that'd be a pretty hot take. Diggs is just so guaranteed to get his in that offense.
I agree. I'm pretty sure from like the very like glimpses of redraft I've seen, I think like Amon-Ra and Wilson, they go in this like mid-second, right? I think you probably could get one of them on the way back if you have the 108. So that's why I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know Wilson does.
I totally can buy liking them in a vacuum over CD, but I think you probably just want to push that around the turn and try and hope one of them falls back to you.
I think like the biggest values right now are the RBs. They tend to go a little later. I saw Charbonnet goes to like 130 or something, like guys like that where you can get really good values on. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the guys we're used to clicking in like the 120s are probably like way pushed down in redraft. Yeah, redraft is fun. I pretty much just get like 3 or 4 elite receivers, and then just like my entire bench is just contingency running backs. No backup tight end, no backup QB, no backup kicker, no backup defense.
I had Kenneth Walker on my bench on every team last year.
Perfect. That worked out very well. He didn't get hurt. He had a couple pop-off weeks, but
yeah, it was.
Yeah, I stream kicker defense in every league every week. I don't. You're better off streaming than trying to predict who's going to be good at defense or kicker.
Yeah, if you play with kicker, get rid of it. Get rid of the kicker.
I'm in. I think only one of my 3 leagues has a kicker.
Defense is there is strategy to defense. I like playing with the defense.
Ooh, but, somebody took that rookie Cincy receiver. He's kind of fun.
Nice.
Iosavas, or how do you even say that? Andreas,
right? Andrei and Andrei. Andrei.
What ethnicity is that? He's like Russian or something.
Junior. Haven't seen that.
I was actually looking into. I think there is value to be had at trying to analyze the Bengals wide receiver 4. I think that dude is actually like a big like X type dude, because they have like Trent Irwin and Trent Taylor. I think those guys are both like small slot dudes. I think it's actually very likely that Iosavas is the direct backup to Chase or Higgins. So I like that pick a lot.
He also grabbed a lot of buzz for some of the deeper.
Yeah, he was really productive
cats.
This is brutal. Click RB tight end.
I think it's gonna be an RB, dude.
Somebody already took my boy Latavius Murray. Come on. Deneric Prince. That's a fun one.
Do we have Pacheco?
Like, no.
I got it in there. I just had to peek if we had Pacheco or not.
Are we 1872?
Yeah.
1872. Only weekly winners can you get away with a 1872, but I love it.
Dude, only in the weekly winners can you say like anything works. So
literally,
obviously
you could tell me you went like 1, 3, 10, 2, and I'd be like,
yeah,
if you did your draft capital like reasonably, that's probably fine.
Honestly, we could have gone K-Dot in there too, especially if he's not being clicked at tight end. I think that's
hilarious that Noah Gray's going above him. Yeah. I mean, that might be sharp actually, but the thing is, I don't think Noah Gray. Don't they have a couple dudes like Blake Bell, Jody Fortson?
I'm not clicking Noah Gray.
Is he the locked in backup? If they had a locked in backup, I would take him, but I'm not convinced he's like head and shoulders above.
No, he would split. I think that's the problem. I think Schoonmaker's an interesting click at the end. People that aren't being drafted.
He's like such a project. I don't.
Yeah, but he's a smooth route runner.
But he wasn't that productive in college though. But he was a second round pick. I don't know. I get it. But I think he's more of like a maybe in like 2 or 3 years.
Let's pull this. Let's pull this one up.
Oh, Noah Gray was getting what the hell? Noah Gray was getting like 50 to 60% of the snaps last year. I did not realize that. He played
ran
over
a lot of 2 tight end. Yeah, but they ran a lot of 2 tight end. I think he just blocked a lot. He's just a blocker. Yeah. So we ended up with Justin Fields at QB, TJ Hawk, and Hunter Henry. I think that last pick could have been like K-Dot, and especially if he's not being drafted, I think that's it's a nice leverage play too on the rest of the field. If he just gets like that 17-point game, ends up as tight end 3, but has the cost of nothing, and the other high tight ends were high picks. Tony Pollard, Penny, Charbonnet, Mostert, Singletary, Miller, Patterson, and Prince. And to go back to that point, like when we saw from week 1 last year, Kelsey scored 19 points. Second highest tight end was Taysom Hill with 13, like 7 points, 7 points less. And Taysom Hill was the optimal. It's just something to think about.
Because of draft capital.
Right.
Yeah, you needed Jefferson.
Dude, we got Pollard. You got Pollard, and then just plus one of these guys. Right.
I actually like doing that. It's like, just give me the locked and loaded RB, and then I'll just like shotgun approach like 7 more and just.
And obviously, you have to hope it aligns with Justin Fields. We wanted to add Pickett onto this team, but 17 picks before ADP gets sniped. Jamar Chase, Mike Williams, Jay Hassan, Pickens, Zay Flowers, Mooney, and Osborne really leaning into these top 5 and the correlated Mooney. Obviously, it went okay for us. It didn't go the smoothest.
Yeah, I would have liked to. I think I prefer two QB builds, but again, only if it falls to me. Like, it's fine. You can go.
We couldn't do it just based on who our receivers were. Like,
I'm not gonna go unstacked. It just happens.
Exactly. In the 3 spot, join with us tonight, I believe for the first time. The name looks familiar or new. A-Rich, CJ Stroud, and Tannehill, Kelsey and Schultz, Barkley, Walker, Damian Pierce, and Hunt. Interesting. Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, Treylon Burks, Nico Collins, Juju, Alec Pierce. Okay. I'm glad to see Alec Pierce here with A-Rich. I'm glad to see Burks with Tannehill. Houston is just, I think it's too much. Like, yes, they're cheap.
Oh my God, yeah, Damian Pierce too.
But when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like Damian Pierce is going to negatively correlate with the QB on a single week basis.
Yeah, and I think Singletary.
If that was Singletary, it makes more sense. But still,
I think it's in general. I probably would have switched 2 of those receivers to RBs. I mean, I don't know. I like, if Houston is like middle of the pack, then this kind of looks good. Like if you just have like all these cheap pieces, and then you have like a decent offense. But I think they're pretty long shot to even be like middle of the pack.
Yeah, Stroud does not look polished. But
yeah, that was tough though. They didn't have any of their offensive linemen playing. The offensive lines in these games are brutal. Like that's like the one thing that stuck out to me so far is like these QBs are just getting destroyed. Like,
they don't care. They don't care.
They're just resting all the O-line. They got like backup O-linemen in there, and they're just getting crushed.
Chris says, hot take, Lamar will struggle with the narrative passing more, and injuries will continue to hurt the Ravens. Andrews is the only safe option on that team to draft. Agree or disagree? It's
all in on the I disagree.
It's a take, but I think with the new OC, just wants to pass more. So I think it's, if I had to pick one to bust, I would say it's going to be Adele.
Yeah,
but injuries. Sure.
I don't think people are kind of forgetting like how elite Lamar is. He's in my mind no different than those top 3 that everybody kind of says are the top 3. I mean, Lamar, his MVP season 2 years ago, he put up the best fantasy QB season ever. Like if he did that season last year, he'd probably be going as QB1, right? Definitely. Like he just had an off year last year with injuries and all that. And if he did his MVP season last year, he'd be going before all of them, I think.
No, I agree. And that's why we talk about like the rushing upside. It's just like him and Fields are almost in a tier of their own for weekly winners, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for the rushing, those are the only 2 that can like break off like literally like 60-yard touchdowns.
And Hurts, I guess you can add up there. He can get like a 2 rushing TD game.
Yeah, he's more like the short yardage rushing TDs though. Fields and Lamar and like Fields had like multiple like 50-yard touchdowns last year, didn't he?
Yeah. Yep. In the 12 spot, King of Kings. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, sorry. You're good.
We're just going to cover the last team here. King of Kings in the 12 spot, Dak Prescott and Jared Goff. I think I'm getting feedback. Is that on? Is that from your speaker? Or maybe it's my headphones.
You get an echo?
Yeah. I can hear myself. Maybe it's just my headphones. Let me know if you guys get an echo. It's not a big deal. We're almost done out of here anyways. King of Kings, Dak and Jared Goff. Yeah, it's better. Donk, and it's back.
Is it bad again now? Yeah, it's my speaker shit. I don't even know what to do. I don't even have headphones.
It's all right, almost done. Kincaid, Laporta, likely. I like this group. I like this group a lot. Running backs, Gibbs, ETN, Madison, Cook, and Kelly. It works. It definitely works. I just like the Kelly click too. Like if anything happens to Eckler, like you don't expect Kelly to go off with Eckler being healthy, but it's just a contingency bet on a last round pick. Lamb, I like this team a ton. Stacked up Gibbs, stacked up Amon-Ra, stacked up Laporta, Dak with Lamb and Cooks. I like this team a lot. Gabe Davis, Cooks, Thielen, DPJ, and Samuel. I actually like Samuel too as the last round. These are like spike week guys. And this is what we sort of press on like players that you should be drafting are players that can hit that threshold of 20 plus points. Is it high? No, it's not highly likely for anyone going after pick 130. But these players at least have it in their range of outcomes where like another player going in that range might not, like Hunter Renfrow versus Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, I'm totally agree with that. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
4 tight ends.
I'm
tight end group
over.
sick.
That is a sick tight end group. I like that. I'm over. I like Curtis Samuel a lot in this. Yeah, this
Glad to hear that.
solid.
Now, like Thielen is someone that I wouldn't draft.
I don't click him in any format. But yeah, a little light on running backs, I would say. But no, actually not. They got like 4 of the top 85 picks.
No, this team is well drafted.
Yeah,
2 double stacks with the pocket passers.
Oh yeah, that's a well constructed team. Yeah, Laporta got Laporta and Amon-Ra.
This is a sick one.
I probably would have went Ferguson over Likely. Maybe he was already gone, but I mean, he took Likely at 181. I'd be surprised if Ferguson was gone, but maybe.
I'm still cool with it. He still has a double stack.
Oh yeah, he has Cooks too.
The cost opportunity is like nothing when we get to that range, and like reaching doesn't really matter at that point. But yeah, I think it's fine with Likely. All right, guys. Dooley, bro. Part 3 underway.
Yeah.
We'll have to get a part 4, part 5, part 109. It's coming. I'll hopefully get you on some battle royales this season too.
Yeah, no doubt. That'd be fun. I'm down to do some in-season stuff. I'm gonna be writing articles actually for battle royale stuff. Kind of like little cheat sheet guide type things. Nothing crazy, but just kind of like my targets and stacks and stuff like that.
All right. Well, I'll add that for you. So
hell yeah.
I'll advertise that for you. Guys, I want to appreciate everyone coming out. 55 likes on the live stream. Appreciate every single one of you. This is the 1 year since I started streaming. And just the support you guys showing it means a lot. And everyone here is super passionate about fantasy football and shit. We got the season underway, and boy, do we have sweats coming. But if you're not already subscribed, go ahead, join the pound on YouTube, and let's get you in the Discord too. Hang out with us off stream. We draft together. It's where the Bestball Mania draft guide is, in the cheat sheet section, completely free for the subscribers. If you guys enjoyed today's live stream, on the way out, drop a like. Dooley, do you have any last words for the crowd?
No, I mean, yeah, I hope they be on again. You got a good crowd following you. This is fun. The chat's fun. Everybody's joking around, asking some good questions. So yeah, I have a blast hopping on here. Appreciate everybody.
Hell yeah, guys. And make sure you drop Dooley a follow on the Twitter machine. Link is in the description. Have a good night, Pounders.